What's going on, people? Welcome back to Nick J. Francis' channel. Immediate reaction just after Arsenal absolutely slapped Brentford 3-0 at their ground, and it was redemption for last season. Do you know what I mean? I ain't even going to go into what happened last season. We all know it was the beginning of the season. We saw the documentary. It was a shambles. Do you know what I'm saying? And we turned it completely around and went back there, and pure Bob Marley redemption song. Do you know what I'm saying? In the first half, we were already 2-0 up. Great goal from William Saliba. A great goal from Gabby Jesus. Cross comes in from Xhaka, gets up ahead of his man. Ivan Toney, this idiot. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, man talks big and he moves like he's a big man up top, but he's a little man in his own box, bruv. You know them ones there, bruv, because he didn't even get off the ground to defend that cross. Do you know what I'm saying? 2-0 at half time. And then in the second half, dirty goal from Fabio Vieira. Absolutely rude goal. I couldn't believe what I seen. Do you know what I'm saying? When I saw no Odegaard on the bench, I was a little bit worried. Fabio Vieira can be a little bit lightweight for me, but they gave him too much time, too much space. Do you know what I'm saying? They gave him the time stone and the space stone, and it was peak for them after that. Do you know what I'm saying? Pure destruction, end game things, 3-0. Then we had some subs. Vieira come off, and we had a landmark moment for the club and a landmark moment for young Ethan. I want to pronounce it correctly. Nwaneri. Yeah, so Ethan Nwaneri come on, 15 years old, the youngest ever Premier League player. And I'm not sure how much he's going to feature this season, but it'd be amazing to see him getting involved in Europa League games, amazing to see him get involved in league games. I'm hearing a lot of good things about this youngster from the people that I know in football and from the club itself. People seem really, really excited about him. But the overall performance was just so dominant. Like, they didn't really get a sniff at us at all. And after the loss against Man United, there were lots of positives to take from that game. There were lots of positives from the performance, but obviously ultimately we lost the game after 5 games unbeaten, and then to take that loss. And with the Queen's death as well, there's all sorts of games getting moved around, different games getting postponed. So it was really, really important that we got a bounce back, and that's exactly what we did. We knew how important it was to go into the break. We're going to come back from the break and have a couple tough games, North London derby, then Manor Sourcing. So it was really, really important for us to get the win and to control the game, and that's exactly what we did. Everybody looked really, really sharp. Partey's coming back from an injury. Tomiyasu coming back from injury. Tierney coming back from injury. Zinchenko, Odegaard, El Neni all still out. So we need a good amount of time to rest these guys, get them back, because for the North London derby, we will need a full squad. Our squad looks very, very similar to theirs in terms of now they've got Richarlison, we've got Jesus, and Kane. We've both got 2 strikers against each other. It's going to be really interesting to see how we set up. It could be a top 4 defining game potentially. So everyone just needs to rest, go out, rest, and we need to have as many of our players back for that game as possible. But on this game against Brentford, I was very, very nervous. And it's so funny, I'm listening to the punditry and they're talking about how Brentford is subdued because of the tributes to the Queen before the game and all this kind of stuff. And to me, that's all excuses. We see plenty of teams at home like going and winning games regardless of the environment. That's their home stadium. The place is like becoming a bit of a fortress. Teams go there and struggle to get results. And we went there and bossed them. It's as simple as that. I don't think it's anything to do with the tribute before the Queen. For me, if you're playing me in football, yeah, I don't care what music is played before the game, I'm going to come out and slap you the same way. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not going to make any difference to me. So the punditry is a little bit disappointing. But I think the way that we controlled the game was unbelievable. Sky gave Gabby Jesus man of the match, and I'm not against that at all. But for me, Granit Xhaka getting the armband back again. We know the saga that happened 2 seasons ago. Mikel Arteta had to come in and repair that relationship with the fans, repair the relationship with the club and the fans, as well as with Granit Xhaka and the fans. And I think he's done that superbly. I see some people complaining. Shouts for Tierney to maybe have been the captain, because, you know, he is like that vice captain slot. He's Mr. Professional, but he misses so many games through injury. He hasn't been a consistent, in this particular team, in this particular system, he hasn't been a consistent mainstay. One of the main consistent mainstays so far this season has been Granit Xhaka. We know how professional this guy is. And today, for me, he was man of the match for my personal taste. He popped up everywhere. Gabby Jesus was fantastic. Saliba was fantastic. But Granit Xhaka, for me, would probably be the man of the match. He popped up everywhere. Defensively, he was solid, moving the ball way quicker. And we have to appreciate with this guy that from the Wenger years into the Emery years, we've watched this guy have a couple bad seasons or bad games, And we know the stats that we're not as good, we're not as effective when he's not in the team. But we have to appreciate that my man played a season or two or three in the complete wrong position. When he's playing in that lone DM position and we had players in front of him, like we had an Ozil in front of him at points and other players in front of him in the midfield, that's not his position. When he's further up the field as a box-to-box midfielder, that's his position. We see it. He's chipped in with goals, he's chipping in with assists, and yes, he can drop back and make tackles, but he's not a real quarterback defensive midfielder. So he was class for me. Everybody, the back four looked really, really solid. You know, Ben White fighting for any minutes that he can get, because Gabby and Gabriel, I should say, we've got too many Gabbies in the team, bruv. Gabriel and Saliba at the back look so solid. I feel so confident with them at the back. I'm not going to say they're not going to make mistakes. They're going to get beaten at times. Things are going to happen. But they give me so much confidence as that back two. And then whoever is at fullback, we've got Ben White and Tomiyasu that can do great jobs there. And then we've got Zinchenko and Tierney that can do great jobs at left back. And everything just went right for us today. I'm not trying to hear anything about Brentford's subdued atmosphere. That's on them. It's a home game. All through the game, you could hear the Arsenal fans more than you could hear the Brentford fans. We're already the kings of North London. Everybody knows that, but we're trying to dominate all of London. We took West London over today, and it was just a mad thing. Do you know what I'm saying? All the goals were just superb. One from a set piece. We know how good we were from set pieces last season. That's continuing this season, scoring goals from corners. Then we're scoring a goal, which is a headed goal, which we don't normally see from Gabby Jesus, but it was a great cross, flicked over, and he just beats his man. The cross was just perfect. It was too deep for the defender to get it, but not so deep that it's played into the keeper's hands. Perfectly weighted ball from Granit Xhaka and an easy headed goal for Gabby Jesus. That's what he does. That's meat and potatoes for him. And then Fabio Vieira just looks up on his left foot, couple of silky passes back and forth, and they just give him a little bit of time and space, and bang, off the inside of the post. When I was in the pub, everyone in the pub just gasped, but they couldn't even believe what happened. The goal was just completely rude. You know, great celebrations from everybody. And to know that we've got Ødegaard, who's one of the best number 10s in the world. Yeah, I said it, bruv. He's one of the best number 10s in the world. And if you've got a problem with that, blood, suck your mother, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? That's on you. But he's one of the best number 10s in the world. Definitely one of the best number 10s in the league. And then to know that we've got players like Fabio Vieira that can step in. We've got Partey, but we've got Lokonga that can step in. The team is sourcing right now. We had a misstep against Man United, but Old Trafford is a tough place to go. You know, they had Anthony, they got Casemiro. They're a tough team. We'll play them again at our ground. We'll see how that goes. But in terms of what we're doing, 1 loss, 6 wins, I'm over the moon with that. And going into the international break, even some of the banter that I'm seeing, that some of the Brazilian Donnies in our team didn't get picked. None of the Gabbies got picked for the Brazil team. On a personal note, that's going to bother them. But for me as an Arsenal fan, I'm calm with that, because that means that there's no risk of injury. Do you know what I'm saying? So let these other men go and play for their international break. And for us, we're just going to chill, rest, recuperate, and come back into the league, you know, a full strength team, or as close to a full strength team as possible. Do you know what I mean? So I'm over the moon right now. I'm not going to lie. Brentford has been, you know, we've exercised some demons, I suppose we could say, after last season, because that was really the opening game of the season last season that rocked our confidence, and then it was just a downhill battle from there. And it was just, obviously we had 3 defeats, but the Brentford one was really the catalyst for that at their ground as well. Newly promoted team. We know what happened. So for me, it was really important to go there and show some fight, show some determination. We were winning lots of our 50-50s. And they had their moments, of course. They had, like, you know, they fought the set plays, corners, the free kick. Ivan Toney tried to be a bit slick, you know, all of that type of stuff. You know, they're not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. They're not a relegation threatened team. They're a very, very good team, very combative team, Brentford. And like I say, it's all about exercising demons. And in the end, the game was comfortable. Do you know what I mean? So comfortable, we could bring on the youngest Premier League player ever to make an appearance in Ethan. I was going to call him Ethan because I'm going to butcher the last name. But so I'm really, really happy to see that. And, you know, again, little things like that, it might seem like small gestures, but that is what Mikel Arteta does in terms of repairing the relationship with the fans and the club. We want to go back to our golden age of Arsenal, where we were very well known for bringing in youth talent. The youngest player in the Premier League at the moment, or the last youngest player to make an appearance, was Bukayo Saka. Now we've got Ethan doing it again, and we want to keep this this mentality going. We want to keep this tradition going. If we're not winning trophies, if we're not winning titles, if we're not quite where we want to be football-wise, the fans can forgive that if we keep the identity of the club. If we're playing the style of football that we like to play, we are bringing in young players like we like to, we're scouting great talent, we're playing good football, we feel really connected to the team. Listen, if we fall short of goals, we fall short, things happen, but we feel a real emotional connection with the team. That's what football is about. So that's why everyone knows I love Arteta, and Granit Xhaka stepping up and being captain again today is another exercise demon in terms of the issues that he's had with the fans for the last season and a half. We saw in the documentary a whole different side to him that we don't normally get to see players. And I think it was just amazing. I think it's great management for Mikel Arteta to, again, repair some of the damaged relationships between the players and the fans, and the club itself and the fans. I think that's what a lot of this stuff is about. And then obviously, if you go out and win games, more youth players are going to come through and take their opportunity. So I really, really want to see more of Ethan. Really want to see more of Fabio Vieira, and really want to see more of these 3-0 games. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the next game looks like it's going to be the North London derby. I need to check the schedule, but the North London derby after the international break. Let's see what happens there. It could be a massively defining game for either one of us. And the way that what's going to be a great game about that is that they are going to go in because they're playing very well. They're sourcing in the league. In the cups, they're not really doing so well, but in the league, they're doing well. In the league, we are doing well. And in previous derbies, both sets of fans would go in and say, you know what, I'll take a point. Let's both take a point and call it square and move on with our lives. But we are going to go into that North London derby expecting us to go and put in a performance and get 3 points. And they will be expecting very much the same thing as well. So the key takeaways are sourcing in West London, Mikel Arteta is a genius, Granit Xhaka is a wavy captain, don't ever disrespect Granit Xhaka again. And Arsenal bringing through youngsters, it's nothing new, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's who we are. That's what we do. That's all I got for you this week. I'll be back after the international break because man ain't covering no dead international football, bruv. So, do you know what I'm saying? I'll be back after the break for the North London derby game, and we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Love.